Welcome back to Her Shift. This is the space where we shift and we heal, and then we therefore thrive. And this is a pivotal episode because it's the first episode since the 50th episode last week. And I'm going to be talking about the shift change that I am putting to Her Shift, how I'm pivoting, and how I'm going to show up more real, more messy, more raw, more authentic. And I'm doing this because of everything I've learned in the last year with Her Shift and the 50th episode. This has come to like a real, a marker almost. I'm like going, we're going to do things different now. So I'm recording this episode in real time. If you're watching this on YouTube or the video, I am going to do my makeup while I talk because that's what feels right to me. And I'm going to talk about 4 or 5 huge shift changes that have happened in the last year with Her Shift that I have that now self-awareness about. And I'm going to explain how that can help you. And when we get to these little pivotal moments in our life and our healing journey and what they mean. And I'm going to be honest, it's usually when you're looking up at the stars, the sky, if it's light. You're looking up, you get the idea. You're looking up and you go to the universe, no more, I cannot do this. Please stop trying to teach me lessons. Please stop layering on the shit. I cannot do this. This is like everything is coming at me. Like everything is falling apart. And I'm now learning actually when things fall apart, it's for a good reason. It's because you've shifted so much, as in you've changed, you've healed, you've grown, that what was there before doesn't work. It doesn't fit. It's not that it doesn't serve you. You just don't fit into that. It's like no longer your life. In the last episode with the amazing, lovely Heather Hendry, when we were talking about, it was meant to be a celebratory episode, but it did get quite dark. And we talked about some of those really dark times. And I talked about times when I didn't want to be here and I, wanted to end life and just opt out of what was going on. And it was really therapeutic actually for me to talk about so openly on the podcast. But it also made me realize in that moment that the very thing we need with living with PMDD, and depression and anxiety and stress as a woman is we need to be open and vulnerable and truthful. I thought I was. I really thought I was. And then I realized the amount of times, so I'm just having a sip of coffee while I do this. Oh, I've got a chocolate mousse now. The amount of times that I've scraped my hair back, put my face on, recorded a podcast episode when I'm not even close to 50% bandwidth, like I'm really struggling, and I've not mentioned it. I've just pretended. That's my superpower. It's like going, you know what, I've got so little capacity in my tank right now, but I know I can do this. I know I can get a great episode out there. How many times have we done that? How many times have we got through a day, got through a time with the kids, got through work, and we've just been, was like absolutely food, just like, and not only that, when we get through it, there's no achievement because we're not even like a Duracell bunny on one bar. We're completely spent, and then that's going to have a knock-on effect on us for the next few days. That was my superpower for so long. And it wasn't until Heather mentioned in the episode, like, wow, it's amazing. That's obviously a skill that you have. And I think there's so many women that do have that skill. Think how many times you've shown up, no matter when you've been absolutely, and I'm going to say quite literally dying inside, or the pain has been surmountable, and you've still managed to do it. I'm not going to celebrate that. I'm just going to acknowledge it. Some of the changes that I've noticed over this year of doing Her Shift is like I've shifted into such a new space, and it's crazy that I had my hair darkened. So I've been blonde for a really long time, and I had my hair color changed the other day, and it was only when looking back in the mirror that it then was like, wow, the outer is now more aligned with what's going on inside me. It was almost like that made me realize, like, wow, that's how far you've come just by having my hair color done. Just going to quick tip with that. As you know, I'm quite into my outer self-care, because how we feel about ourselves on the outside is so crucial to our healing. And I'm a big fan of hair dye. Right now, at the age of 44, I have got no intention of ever going grey. I know I'm all for this movement of not, makeup and not dyeing our hair and just saying, fuck it, let's just be ourselves. However, for me, that looks like staying true to myself and going, you know what, the universe invented hair dye. I want to be like Joan Collins. I don't want to go grey. I don't want to. It's not how I see myself, and that's okay. And I love what Pamela Anderson is doing for the no makeup movement. But to me, and I don't think some people seem to get it, for me, it means what she's saying is that some days I don't want to have to show up and put makeup on. It doesn't mean that I've turned up at work unkempt and unshowered, and it's just, why should I have to put makeup on if I'm just not feeling it? That's what she means. She's not saying she's ever going to not wear makeup again. It's just, and I'm totally here for that. And I really recommend, as part of our healing journey, having makeup free, no makeup days. Um, and she says that as she's putting her makeup on. What I'm doing is, this is like my minimal effort, maximum impact to how I feel about myself face. And by that, I am just putting life back into my skin. So suddenly I'm feeling a little bit more glowy. That's pretty much all it is. Do you think the wallpaper brings out the colour in my skin? Anyway, so another thing that I've massively realised over the last year has been, I have started to ask for help. How many of us don't ask for help? How many of us ask for help and feel instantly guilty about it? For me, the way I was brought up and the demons that were inside my head as a result of many things, not only the PMDD, were that a woman that asks for help is a woman that is weak. And it is a weakness to do that, and you should only do it when you are quite literally on the floor and crawling. Would I say that to someone I loved? Would I say that to someone in the street? Would I apply that to my child? Absolutely no. So why am I saying it to myself? Why did I think that? And the thing is, when we talk about asking for help, it's such a broad term, as in, can you do a task for me? And I think what I've realised actually in the last year is it doesn't mean that. It actually means perhaps just being there or being aware of how I feel, holding space for me. I know that's a term that's bounced around a lot, but holding space for me, acknowledging me, showing understanding towards me. It means thinking, what would that person maybe need off me right now that's not going to change their life? But for example, when my lobster turns up with a selection of Marks and Spencer's microwave meals, and there's options, or who just put them in the fridge for me, in that moment, I feel so looked after and so seen and validated, because thinking, she doesn't therefore have to cook. She doesn't have to think about what she's going to make, going to have to eat. Also, it's quick, it's easy, and it's tasty, and it just takes a little thing off her plate. And it's that thought process. And it started to apply to me, that what can I do for other people, or what could other people do for us, that are seeming little things, but the thought process makes us seem so valid and so seen. It's like going to myself, what do I need right now? And more than anything, I've started to wake up in the morning and put my hand on my heart. I think this is part of the Goddess Path book, where it's like, what do I need from today? I don't know why there is so much shame and guilt about asking for help and support. And you know what I also realised was that when I see other people that seemingly are supported, all looked after or things that are done for them, I would actually feel a little bit resentful. I would feel like, well, they're entitled. Sometimes they probably were, but sometimes it's just the fact that they have that energy flows and they treat other people like that. They're being treated like that. If, I went to people now um, and said, I'm really struggling with ABC and I need help, I think a lot of people in my life would be quite shocked because my masking has been so going on for so long. They would be shocked to hear that I would need help there, that I'm struggling with this. So, who can you speak to? What kind of help and support would, really help you today, in this week? A little thing that would make such a difference in your life. What would it be? Um, Things for me that make me feel supported are voice notes or text messages of people around me just to check in on me. You don't have to be deep, just little check-ins. Saw this and thought of you. My lobster went and got his face cream and he went and got me some. He said, it doesn't matter what the face cream is, brand it is. It's like, I got this, I thought of you. It might be when someone buys you a chocolate bar. I like when my car is filled up for me. It's just those little things. Sometimes, actually, I'm gonna say, like, I've been talking about material things like having my car filled up or a chocolate bar. It's voice notes, it's text messages, it's check-ins, it's love hearts on my Instagram story. It's that. If you took those things away from me, I would suddenly notice. I take them for granted, perhaps we all do. But those check-ins of one person, a smile, are you okay? God, they mean the world to me. They give me life. And I think I'm going to have to add those to my gratitude list, my thankful list. Obviously, I don't like the word gratitude. Um, I've just had some bangs cut in, and again, like if you're seeing this on YouTube, I'm like, God, we talk about shifting and talk about how we see ourselves. Do we view ourselves now on the outside? Do you think that if we are so used to seeing our appearance that it almost becomes like we don't take a step back and go, wow, you've changed? Unless we're going to be doing a fitness journey, where we do a before and after. Uh, Again, my self-care has become so integral to my healing journey. And it covers so many things. And I know I've talked about this in previous episodes, but God, my self-care is so, so important. And one of the things that I've done is so obviously I have braces, and you'd be shocked to know that it's actually changed my jaw, as in I've now got a jaw. So because I've had a bit placed under my front teeth, I now am constantly chomping at the bit, let's say, and I've actually built up muscles around my jaw, and it's actually brought my bite forward. And I'm gonna do like a profile before and after on Instagram to show everybody. And another crazy thing is, so like I said, I've just had bangs cut in. Now, for the first 30 odd years of my life, I couldn't have a fringe. I didn't suit one because my face looked so different. Firstly, I didn't have a jaw. And secondly, it's just come with age, wisdom, the universe, my healing journey. My absolute energy, my aura has changed. It has actually changed my physical appearance. Now you're thinking it's the B word, bit of the old bow, bit of the old tox, the old filler. I'll be quite honest with you. Yes, I've had the inside of my mouth Botox to shit because the pain from the braces was so much. The rest, this lift, this smoothness, it's not a lie. I have been now for 8 months using a gaucher. A gaucher, I think that's what it's called. And a jade roller. And I'm going to do a video on this. And the reason I haven't already is because I thought, well, it's just a superficial thing. And now I'm realizing it has been so integral to my healing because I'm trusting myself that every night I'm going to look after myself in that way, that I care about my skin today and I care about it in the future, and I want to do something good for me, how I feel about myself. So looking after my skin on a most basic level, not about makeup or anything like that, has really made me feel looked after. And it's me that's been looking after myself, but it's made me feel so looked after. And I now, when I'm looking at myself on the video on this camera right now, I'm like, God, it's actually changed how I see myself. It's changed my face. A lot of shift in a year. And another thing that, because we are getting raw and messy and real, and I feel I'm going to put it out there, and I need to be totally honest. So over the last few months, there's been a lot of stresses in my life that I can't control with other people, particularly my children, and they've been going through a lot of things. And it's made me realize that while I am thankful every day that for that connection with them and the fact that I am so close to them, when you can't help people that you love, when you can't fix their problems immediately, it means you feel in that moment you haven't got that level of control. And I've had to learn how to surrender to that because it's not, I can't fix people, not even my own children. I can't fix their problems. And that's been a massive realization. I don't know if you're anything like me, but I was, yeah, Queen Fix It. It's either, right, what can we do right now? I'm not a head in the sand person. I'm like, right, what can we do? And that might be so if it's someone's mental health, I'm like, right, therapy, supplements, exercise, holistics, everything like that. And when routine goes out the window and when the shit hits the fan, it's made me realize I am not in control in that moment. And not being in control is so effing scary. So I made the bold decision to surrender. This has been a huge shift because I didn't know quite what the word surrender meant in the healing world. I think what it means for me is letting go. A lot to do with the Mel Robbins book, the Let Them. It's like, I can't control this about myself, and I certainly can't control other people's behavior. What can I control? What can I do today? I can surrender to that realization. And I've not been on medication, antidepressants, for I think it was like 2008, maybe. Yeah, 2008. And 3 or 4 months ago, I made the decision to go to the GPs and say, look, I just need a little bit of help. I know this isn't going to fix, but I'm going to be quite honest with you. I haven't got any time in my day right now to get to the gym and do my swimming, which I absolutely love, because I can't leave the house right now because of the situation at home. I don't drink, which I know a lot of people would do to take the edge off things, and there's only so much chocolate can do. I had reached for the chocolate, and in the last, well, since January, I had put on nearly 2 stone. So, well, how much is that? £28. Yeah, well, probably to £25 I'd put on. I have an issue with that. There's certainly been its benefits, i.e. Kit Kat curves, and the lobster hasn't minded, but it's in terms of my health. And I was like, this is getting silly. The first 2 times I spoke to the GP about medication, which is it's hard for me because I'm much more about the psychological thing. I'm about natural approach. I don't like the idea of too many drugs in the system and just like churning out antidepressants like they're sweets. I am from that era, by the way, when they used to do that. So the first 2 times, I didn't run away screaming, but I went, oh, it's okay, I've changed my mind, and I left. As of recently, I've now been given a third type of antidepressant to try. I think it's a derivative of Prozac, just because it was affecting my sleep so much. I think we've got a few factors in here. We've got obviously the stresses that are going on at home. We've got post PMDD healing. I'm perimenopausal for sure. I'm just a 45-year-old woman in that era of my life with everything going on, and yeah, I think that's important to recognize actually, isn't it? There's never just one thing, and I think for a long time I was always like, there's one thing going on that we need to tick the box, we need to sort out. It isn't. There's always a lot of factors that can cause this. Anyway, let me tell you what this did to me. I went on an SSRI, and I knew there were going to be side effects. Oh dear God, this gave me uncontrollable shaking, flu-like symptoms. I was hot flushing. When I would wake up in the middle of the night or in the next morning, the bed was actually soaked because I was sweating so much. I was starting to feel nauseous. And these were getting worse as well. I went off chocolate. I know that should have been a major red flag. I went off chocolate and sugar. My anxiety actually got worse. My need for control got more. And to top it all, I felt a level of depression that I hadn't felt since my hell weeks of being in the midst of PMDD. And for some reason, I thought if I can just get through this, because it's just me, right? I can't cope with it, then everything will be fine. We got to week 3, and I was like, I can't do this anymore. I can't do this anymore because I'm struggling to get out of bed now. I'm telling you this because I want to be raw, I want to be real, and I also want to go, I feel a bit silly. And sometimes we might need someone else to step in and go, yeah, I don't think this is right. Now, I did have obviously people around me. My daughter was concerned that the side effects seemed to be getting worse. Mr. Lobster, I'm going to be honest, I wasn't telling him everything about how bad I felt, especially about the level of depression that I was feeling. Uh, but he'd say like, I think maybe you should go back to the doctor about this. When I did go back to the doctor, I almost got chastised, as in they said like, why did you leave it so long? You should not be feeling this bad. So I've been on here preaching to you all about asking for help and realizing that you're not weak and you don't have to get through anything and we don't have to suffer. And I basically have gone and had a very strong reaction to a form of antidepressant that has knocked me sideways. And instead of me going, right, something not wrong here, um, I've decided to try and own it and get through it. Get through it. Can we no longer get through stuff, please? Let's just not get through stuff. Anyway, I'm no longer on it. We're now trying something else. Like I said, I know this isn't going to fix me. I just know that I need a little bit of scaffolding just while I go through this more stressful time of my life. And I'm going to ask you guys for your support and your help with that because I do feel a bit shitty about it. I do feel like I'm struggling to make that decision. I feel like I'm trying to be brave by being honest about it on here, but yeah, I feel torn. I feel torn. Um, but then I think this has also given me the clarity to move forward with the podcast, to really niche down and to understand that Her Shift is about my experience and my life living with PMDD and all the other surrounding factors that have contributed towards that. And because of that, when I do the room membership and the book club, it's all going to be focused around that. I feel like the work I'm going to do is going to be more tailored about that. And I also I need to be honest about being honest. I can't keep minimizing and removing the parts of my life that I don't think are going to land well, that aren't going to make me look good. So I feel what I've been trying to put out in this episode is the shifts that I've made, the realizations that I've had, the new level of self-awareness, and me just trying to be that most real, raw, honest version of myself on Her Shift. And I want to finally say that the one thing that has continued to help me, because I know I talk about so many strategies on here and this has helped and sometimes this is good and sometimes that is, has actually been to appreciate what I've got in that moment. It goes back to I am thankful for, and that whole reverse engineering of God, can you imagine how life would be if I did not have this? And it just made me, it's the same old, it's been put in all the self-help circles and all the books and um, the law of attraction and that, but it's absolutely true. I've had moments over the last few months of when I will put it out there, I say, I do not want to be here. And what I mean by that is, as in, I just want to go to sleep actually right now. I just want to just check out. And the one thing that really brings me back and helps with my perspective is thinking, no matter how hard life is right now, no matter how shit things are today, and yes, it might even get worse, is can I imagine life without my purpose, without my ability to do this and this and this? Can I imagine my life without the connection and the love I have for others, my children, my family? The basic necessities that I have in abundance, my home, food, hot water, shelter, the ability that I have to pick up the phone and phone the GPs. And yes, it brings up me problems. Yes, it brings up how I feel about myself. Yes, I'm put in a queue before I can speak to the doctor. Yes, I had horrendous side effects from an antidepressant. But what if that wasn't even an option? The fact that I got to go to bed every night and feel safe, watch TV in bed, eat my favourite chocolate, speak to my lobster. The fact that there's people in the universe who like me, who care about me. The fact that there's a voice out there on the other side of social media, that, we see all the negatives in the world, don't we? And all the trolls and the vitriol and the social media is bad and Wi-Fi is frying our brains, but there's still connection. Whoever you are, there's people like you out there. There's people out there who see you, who you've helped, who you've made a difference to in their lives. The fact that right now I can, on a very cheap microphone and a 7-year-old MacBook, and put my voice out there, can record this episode. Whether people listen or not, that's not what it's about. It's the fact I can do that I have that ability. The fact that I can do that and put my makeup on as I speak. The fact that there's still something out there that wants me to get out of bed in the morning, to do something, to make a difference, to be there for others, to have the better goddamn life. Grateful that I chose the hot sauce option. Grateful that I chose to feel. And grateful that every rock bottom has a new level of rock bottom, because that also means that every level of happiness and joy and elation, there's infinite levels there too. How grateful I am for the coffee I have in my hand right now. Has this episode been a little bit deep? Yes. Has it been reflective? Oh my God, yes. And that was the point of it. I've been reflective and I've talked about the shifts and the changes I've made over the last year and over the 50 episodes that I've done on Her Shift. When things are happening, shifting, changing, I want to be honest and put it out there, and I hope that you will stay with me for the next 50 episodes. I hope that you will continue to... Sorry, that was my dryer going off. Just grateful that I've got a dryer, that I don't have to put my clothes out in the rain. How grateful I am for you to be there and to keep listening, to share your stories, to be vulnerable with me. How privileged I am to be in that position. And it is my goal to be as raw, real, open and honest as I can be. This is my life. This is my life with PMDD. This is my life coping, stresses, kids, family, work, everything. And I think this is a messy, chaotic episode. As always, I hope that you find the resources in the show notes really helpful. There is the PMDD survival kit. I will be adding to those all the time. I would love it if you could come on my email list, so I can speak to you more directly and let you know the latest goings on with her shift. If you would like to share your stories with me about what you're going through, what's made a difference to you, please, please, please reach out. My messages, my DMs are always open, and I would love, or however you find me on TikTok or Instagram or email, you can even WhatsApp me. My number is out there. So until next time, as we we go down this new pivotal shift change with her shift, I just want to say that I see you and I massively appreciate you. I really hope that you will stay with me for the next 50 episodes and beyond. Please remember you are doing amazing. You are stronger than you think. Please keep going. And as always, sending all my love.